Hey guys, okay, in this demo I will show you how you can work with Git or GitHub. It's basically very important when you're building your app. You're not going to do it in one step. You're going to make changes, and you have to make sure that every time you have a change that is good, we call them small features or something small that is working. You want to make sure that you push your change so that you know if later you make a mistake, you can always go back to it. So it's basically the right way of making apps and digital products. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you how you should, what are the best practices for it. Okay, so all of you should already have a lovable project. I'm going to use mine, which is kind of a game. Okay, so this is the lobby for the game that has like 3 games, and you can start each of these. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make this lobby or this, like the home screen pretty. Okay, I'm gonna make it look nicer, more engaging, and I'm gonna show you how we can do it and how we can commit the changes and everything. Okay, so I have this project. Remember, you also should have already linked this to your GitHub. If not, you should do connect. It goes through connecting to the organization and transfer the project, and eventually you should see it in GitHub. Okay, remember that GitHub is the source of truth. So if whatever changes you make here or it's here is going to be the state of your app, like the current state of the app. So you have to make sure that you keep this updated and it's all working good. Okay, so once you have your project from here transferred to here, the next step, you guys already know, is you should open it with GitHub Desktop. Okay, you'll have this program. You should see your current repository set to that repository that you have on GitHub. Right now I don't have any changes. These changes reflect the local changes made in this app. Okay, right now I haven't made any changes. Basically, it's my local is exactly as the state that it is in GitHub. Okay, but now I'm gonna make some changes. Okay, so let's see how this works. I'm gonna come here. Remember, you can open here, you have a shortcut, or you can just manually open Visual Studio Code. Same thing. It's gonna open this project. Make sure you always have your project on the left. Means that, and it should be the folder, the exact folder. Okay, not the subfolder or anything, or even the parent folder, so that it's exact project, and when you're working with the chat here, it knows which files to work on. Okay, if you get this Docker installed, whatever, just ignore it. I think you will get some Git stuff. Just say do not show again or whatever. Okay, and then don't worry about the files here. The most important section is this guy. Okay, this is the Copilot chat. That is exactly the same as this guy. Okay, and the reason again we're using that is that this one has credit remainings limits. This one, if you get your GitHub education, you should be able to do unlimited or semi-unlimited, so it gives you a lot of flexibility in that sense. Okay, let's first remember to run the project. The first thing you do is you install. This is only needed in the beginning, or if you make significant changes to the project. Okay, but since I already have it, well, I'm gonna say install and run just for you to see this app. Okay, and it would already know because we have this folder open, this project open. It knows that it has to work with this project. Okay, you can, when you get this command, you can do allow. You can also do allow all commands in this session, whichever you prefer. It will explain you what it's doing, but if you're not technical, just say allow. So it's basically, these are the commands it needs to run the project. Okay, once we have everything, you see app is running at localhost. This is basically saying that it's running the app on a port. A port is just, you can think of it as a place on your computer, and these are all web apps. That's why it's in a browser, localhost, and this port is specifically for this app. Yours could be, if you run this twice, you could have 8081, 8082, 5090, whatever. So there's a lot of ports that you can use. But anyways, the idea is that you click on this and you get your app open here. I already had a session, so it's going to this page, but it should come to this page, which is my home screen. Okay, exactly like here. Okay, now let's make some changes. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back here, I'll show you some tricks here. You can go to a website that is called Dribble with 3 B's. Okay, this is a place where people get UI ideas. We call it, usually the user experience people use this website a lot, or update this with their designs, and other people can get inspirations. Okay, it's very cool. I would definitely encourage you guys to check for different ways of doing UI, and you can actually, I will show you how you can use it in your app. Okay, so it says what type of design you're interested in. I'm gonna say a game selection, okay, or game selection lobby, whatever, and you're gonna see some ideas. So basically these things that are people have created and shared. So in this case, you're gonna pick the one you like. For example, I'm gonna go with this one. It's a very easy one, and it actually looks pretty. Okay, so what you could do, I'll show you a trick. You can take a screenshot of this guy. Okay, take a screenshot. Let's go here, paste that image. You see, I'm gonna say use the attached image as a reference to update the home screen where it shows all the games currently. Do not update the game logic, just focus on making updates on the UI to make it like the attached image. So basically what I'm saying is that here is that, hey, I'm not going to change any logic to the game, nothing. I want to keep everything the same. I just want to make changes to the UI. So remember, the UI is the thing that you see on the screen. The logic, we call it code or backend or something. That's the code. That's the logic of the thing, right? We don't want to change anything on that. So okay, so let's see what happens. I'm gonna run this. Okay. Okay, so now that it's finished, you see that at the end I'll get always you get comments and messages and final messages that says it gives you a summary of what has been changed. You see here, no errors. The home screen now has dark textured background with radial vignettes matching the reference, horizontal carousel, smooth transitions, play now button, whatever. Okay, so don't worry about this. Keep and undo. It's just it doesn't matter because it already made the change. You can see it says one file changed. Again, if you're not technical, don't even get overwhelmed with what's happening here. Don't worry about it. Just if it's it works. If you need to change something or edit it, you just basically whatever errors you get, you basically explain it here, and it would attempt to fix it. Okay, so let's see what changes it made. Hopefully it made the thing that we wanted. Okay, so you guys can see now my home is changed to this, right, which is pretty interesting. I can go here. Let's just do one of them. Well, after it goes back to the old UI, which is probably not great, but at least the home screen is good. Probably the next thing you want is to put some nice images here, right? And well, we're gonna do it differently. Okay, this is pretty cool. You can see when I can change the stuff. It's pretty cool. Choose join existing game. So the layout is pretty cool. Okay, once you're happy with your changes, okay, that's where I really recommend pushing your changes as fast as possible, and this is the recommended way of working developing software. You don't want to wait till you do a lot of stuff, because if you get into a trouble, if something goes wrong for whatever reason, you're going to miss all that changes, and it's not good. Okay, so once you're happy with this change, you're like, okay, I like the home screen, even though I know I need to update more stuff, but if I'm good with this, you can still edit these images, for example, and then submit, or you can do it right away. It's up to you, but I would definitely recommend it to do it in steps. Okay. Okay, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna come back here. So remember, these changes have been done in your local machine, not on GitHub. Okay, which means that it's not on remote or on the internet, whatever, right, in the right place. And in your GitHub desktop, you should see changes. In this case, I have only one change file. You could see multiple. It's normal, and you can see this green and red. Red means that it removed this code. Green means it's added this code. Okay, so these are the changes that it did to make it this the way it is now. Okay, all you need to do is you come here, and usually I just put a name, a sentence, or just a few words explaining what was the change, and I just submit. And this is useful because later on, if you need to go back to this change, or if you want to see the history, you can actually see exactly what the changes are. So you can maybe revert the change. So I will explain how it works. Okay, so here I would say make the home screen more pretty. Okay, just a comment here, and you say commit. Commit means that you want to make this change. Remember, the only thing is that there are two steps. One is commit, one is push. Push means it actually pushing the code, the changes to GitHub. Okay, I'm gonna push. Now, once it's done, right, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go to my GitHub, refresh this. You're gonna see that it says, you see this now, and you can actually see I made 173 commits in this repository. I've been making a lot of changes, so you can see I make changes really fast. And the last one is this guy, and it will have your name. It means that it changed by me. If you see these lovable ones, it means that it was changed by lovable. Okay, so it's just very easy, right? And in your case, you only work probably you and lovable. In a real development, app development case with companies, you will see like multiple people, because there could be 5 developers, different people working on the same product. So you will see different people committing to different places, right? Now, if I go back to my lovable account, right, this one, you will see that it actually shows this change, make the home screen more pretty. Okay, the only thing I need to do probably is to refresh this, and hopefully sometimes it does that. It doesn't get the change. Let's do a refresh on the whole thing. No, let's see if it does it. It doesn't still. If you get to this point, sometimes lovable is being a bit weird. You can say, I don't know, refresh the app. Let's see if it's able to get the change. Usually it should. Yeah, okay. Well, I think it was, I don't know if it needed to refresh the app or you needed to wait a little bit of time. Anyways, you should, since the change was here, we should have got it. Yeah? Okay. So you can see the changes are also now in lovable. If you didn't have submitted this file, pushed here, and GitHub wasn't updated, the changes would have not appeared here. Okay, so make sure you do that. Okay, now I'm going to show you something. Yeah, maybe let's do something cool. I'm going to make a change now in lovable and show you how you can bring it to your project. Maybe you will asking, why should we make even change here, since we can make the change directly in Visual Studio? The reason is that sometimes, and it happened to me in the past, not often, but time to time, that lovable could do a better job at some things, especially UI stuff. You will see. So if you get to a point where you're trying to make a change here and you're not happy, it's not working for whatever reason, you can actually do it from here. Okay, I will explain how it works. So from here, let's do a change here. Maybe we can fix the icons, right? You see this memory line, the map, and content guessing. I'm gonna see if Lovable can actually create us some nice pictures. One way is to actually go and find a one and bring it here and just update it. I'm just gonna be a bit more lazy and I'm just gonna say, can you update the images that are for the 3 games in the home screen to be more engaging? I don't know, engaging, maybe even a GIF, like a moving object. Okay, for those who don't know, GIF it's a picture that is moving, so it has a bit of what do you call it, layers, or like different transitions, and when you play it you kind of get a motion, but it's actually a picture with different placeholders of different angles, or right, and when it runs it feels like it's like a video, right? Let's see how Lovable can. Okay, it's done. You can see replace the emoji icons with rich cinematic card images for each game mode, plus a subtle floating animation on the selected card to make it feel alive. This is coming from the fact that I ask it to be moving object, right? So you can see this. Look, it's pretty amazing, right? With just one try, it made me some images, and it reflects, this memory game, whatever, right? Pretty cool. Okay. And now I can play. Perfect. Okay, so now this is looking much better. Now I don't have, even though I have this change here, the way Lovable works is that it would directly commit or push changes to GitHub. So you don't need to do that step that we did in our local setup. You can actually go to your GitHub, refresh this page, and you see these changes. So it made 5 different changes. So you see Lovable is also making changes gradually. It doesn't make one big change. Okay, you see improve homepage card visual, update game card images, add game card images, update home card visual, update home card. Okay, so it made a bunch of things together. It made this big change. Not a big change, but to accomplish this, right? Now, since your GitHub is updated, what you should do, if you go local, you still don't have the changes unless you go to your GitHub desktop and you say fetch. What fetch does, it basically is fetching changes from GitHub. You see these 5 changes. These reflect the changes that GitHub did, that Lovable made to GitHub. Okay, I'm gonna get the changes done. And one thing you need to make sure, if you have made changes here and you try to fetch from GitHub, if you have them change, if the same file was changed in GitHub and you also made a change here, so maybe imagine that I also locally tried to update the images, which you should not, right? You might get a conflict. Okay, conflict happens a lot, and I will show you how you can fix it. Okay, so for now, let's go back here. I'm gonna go to my local one. This is not Git, this is not Lovable, this is local, and you can see, I can see the changes here now too. So you have everything all working, your state of your local and your state of remote, which is your here, are all the same. Okay, last thing I will show you is how you can revert a change. So think of something that maybe you didn't like. Two ways, okay? One is that you can go here, you can go to your history and you can see all the changes. Imagine that you didn't like these 5 changes that you made to the cards, right? Which was done by Lovable, right? You can just click them and you can just right click. Maybe you need to do it reorder, remember changes in this comment, okay? It's going to be a bit tricky to do all 5. Reorder, squash, okay, yeah, you probably have to do one by one. So you can say revert changes and commit. Then you have to go to the second one, this one, you say revert changes and commit. There are no changes, okay. You can go here, revert changes and commit, no changes, okay. Revert changes and commit, no changes, okay. So there wasn't much. I think all the changes were in the same one. Okay, that's good. Okay, now look, if I go to my local one, you'll see that we went back to where it was before, since I reverted this. I reverted, but I haven't pushed. You see this push? If you push this, you're basically pushing the revert, as in you changing back the files to where they were before. You see this minus means that you're deleting these images and you're changing these files to not use those images probably, okay? So this is one way of when you actually already commit something and you want to revert, okay? In this case, I don't want this, right? So what I could do, I can probably say undo commit. Let me see. Yes, okay. You can say undo commit, and all you need to do now, so this is probably the step before. Say you have 5, you have made some files changes here, okay, but you haven't even pushed, so you haven't really put this commit. What you could do is you can pick the files, right click and say discard. When you say discard, it basically removes the changes to these files, okay? So now basically it's like I went back, okay? You don't need this stuff or extra, it shouldn't be here. If I go I don't know what here, okay? If I go back to my local host, you can see now I have again the photos. I hope I explained it well, but just remember, if you make a change here, you can just right click on the file or all the files and say revert, discard, meaning that I didn't like the changes that would happen. And this happens, for example, if you come here and you make a big change, I want to make the delete, and you see, or maybe you change your mind or it doesn't look good, you can always go here, pick all the files, right click, revert changes, discard changes. If you're happy with them, you go click select all and you say commit push, okay? The 2 ways, and that's it.